that's already the same thing. No. Just still mute my mic.
Okay, we're starting in about 30 seconds. In a moment. Okay, we're starting now. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the program DDM Politics. Today we're going to be discussing about the grassroots. We are going to be talking particularly on the upcoming local government debate for Nnewi local government, which is coming up tomorrow. Is between the chairmanship candidates for the local government. So I'm going to be talking about the grassroots, strengthening democracy at the grassroots, and strengthening democracy at the grassroots. And our case study is the Nnewi local government chairmanship debate, which is coming up tomorrow. And with me today to discuss about strengthening democracy at the grassroots is our guest speaker, whose name is Chukwumefi Caleb Festus Ukeki Nyobi. I hope I pronounced that well. He is a president of Nnewi social media community. He's also the director of the Nnewi Museum. He's also the director of Umudim Library Nnewi, and he's also the special advisor to His Royal Highness Prince Obanefo Orizu Obinechendo, the Crown Prince of Nnewi Kingdom. He's also the proprietor of Friends of Friends Schools, Akamuli, Umudim Nnewi. And he's also the co-founder of Anedo Creative Hub. And one more thing, he's also a very experienced grassroots mobilizer in the political scene, even in Nnewi. So, Mr. Caleb, you're welcome, sir. Nice to have you. Please, can you unmute your mic and speak? Acknowledge so we can go ahead.
All right, yeah. Good evening. I greet you. I wish you well, my brother.
Yeah, I think what we are having is going to be I think what we're about to have is the first of its kind in the country. Chairmanship debate in the local government, and which is a first. And thank God that this is on record and this is live, and a lot of people are going to see this. They are about pioneering something that is going to go down in history as one of the formidable tools to make sure that democracy is strengthened at the grassroots. Go ahead with my question. How do you think about the debate tomorrow? What's the tempo out there, and how are people looking towards it?
Oh well, I must say first and foremost, thank you to DDM for reaching out and for having this chat. Coincidentally, DDM is also managing that event tomorrow. The publicity effort for the debates has been it's going to be a deciding factor in the election. We've made it's been so publicized that people are looking towards it to be one of the most important deciding factors for the election, because there is a lot at stake. The two frontline candidates in the election are both young people, very young people. I mean, people who are in their early 40s or late 30s, early 40s and late 30s. So they are quite young, according to Nigerian standards. You know what I mean? And they are vying under the most viable tickets, that is APGA and YPP. And it is left to be seen. And coincidentally, both of them are also grassroots people. They have both led youth organizations in Nnewi. And so they are used to, speaking to the crowd. So what is left to be seen is for them to mount the podium tomorrow and talk to the Nnewi and address issues of their stewardship in the offices they've held, as well as tell us what they have for us, because the problems that Nnewi have are very well documented. It is very the smallest person in Nnewi is very acquainted with the problems bedeviling the city. And so what is left to be seen tomorrow will be to hear from them what they intend to do to solve those problems. So as for publicity, the debate is top there on the deciding issues for the election, because for over 4 weeks now, since the announcement of the election and the announcement of the debates, which have now been moved three times. It was first announced for 7th, moved to 15th. From 15th, it was then moved finally to the 2nd. So you see, with that, each time it is moved, builds more anticipation. And so right now, tomorrow, 1 week or barely 1 week before the election, it is sweeper period for the campaigns, because campaigns will end on Thursday. Campaigns will end on Thursday, the 26th. And so going into this week, which is the last lap of the campaign, which started on 11th of this month, we will find that the debate will set the tune as to how the campaign is going to round off, and who gets to be the undecided voters are huge, because in Nnewi there's an incident that happened lately that Nnewi people are still mourning. The political colossus Ifanyoba, Senator Dr. Patrick Ifanyoba, late now, died. And so you see that the political landscape in Nnewi changed with his demise. And so these debates will be one that a lot of people are looking forward to help them make decision as to who to vote, on Saturday, 28th of September, 2024.
All right. Okay. Yeah. That's good to know. One of the problem, in fact, with recent happenings and what's going on around the country, most people have actually lost faith in the local government and the way local government elections are being conducted in the country. And we know a lot of people have actually lost faith in it. But we know that out there, people have not really given up. But what do you think are the challenges? What do you think are the key challenges facing democracy at the grassroots level in Nigeria, based from what we've seen so far? Because we know that it's not a perfect system out there. And then, what do you think are the challenges? Why? Because people are looking at it as looking at this particular arm of government is really not that effective. A lot still needs to be done, controlled by the governors and the rest. So, what do you think are the challenges affecting local government at the grassroots level, democracy at the grassroots level when it comes to this local government, like the local government for elections, for instance?
I think I'll classify the challenges into three. I categorize them into three. I'll say that there are ones that are systemic. The systemic challenges are that's which the Supreme Court has tried to solve right now with the judgment on the autonomy of local governments. So it's systemic because before now, since the return of democracy in 1999, you find that states have hijacked both, not just the rules, but the resources of local government. And that has somehow, or that has fully, if that judgment will be fully implemented, it would solve that particular problem, because you can't talk about a tier of government without resources. A tier of government cannot exist in vacuum. It has to exist. It has to be funded. And if there is lack of funding because of the systemic problems, that's Nigeria's special kind of democracy. Because Nigeria's democracy is special. I say it's a special democracy because we are democratic when the political leaders think it will favor them, and then they become undemocratic when they think it wouldn't favor them. I'll give you an example during the elections and what happens during the elections. You find the elections will be ongoing, and then all of a sudden you hear it was cancelled, maybe because somebody felt that it didn't go his way. So you see, it's systemic. And then after the systemic category is the people category. I think this one is an offshoot of the systemic problem, but it has to do with the people's own awareness of how important local governance is. So it has to do with people's orientation. interest level. Here in Nnewi is a commercial city. People are more poised to go for their businesses every day than they are to know who is vying for what position or not. People are just, have this kind of laid back attitude towards, local affairs. And you see, that is not because of, that's largely is not because of the government. It's because of the people themselves. We probably do not even understand very well, even with education, some educated people do not understand how government affects them and affects even that business they are running to do every morning. And so that creates a situation where you find that people are nonchalant about local concerns and local leadership and organization and stuff that makes a city or a town or a village, a community tick. And so that's one of it. And then another one I could also say will be the issue of the umpire itself. This is also a systemic problem, but I want to bring it up because it's part of, it is actually, it has earned this place as a category on its own.
Those who about INEC itself.
Those who officiate these elections, they have grossly
INEC,
lost. Yes, INEC, ANSEC, in this case, for the grassroots elections in Anambra State, will be managed by ANSEC. I'm very sure that in other states, there are also equivalents of ANSEC managing those elections. And I think that if FIFA does not do a very good football, I don't know anybody who should, if anybody should expect, if FIFA is not good enough, I don't think CAF will be better than FIFA. You know, when INEC is not doing a good job,
right,
you cannot expect that ANSEC will now do a better job than INEC, who has a bigger budget, who has made more better seasoned staff, and all that. So what I think is happening is this. Cities like Nnewi have broken through and began to develop their local politics, not because of, notwithstanding these problems, because of the peculiar problems that needs leadership to fix. Nnewi is a very big city, one of the most viable cities in Anambra State, probably in Nigeria. And yet it suffers a dearth of infrastructure. It suffers neglect. Successive governments of Anambra State have neglected Nnewi, including the present government led by Charles Chukwuma Soludo. Nnewi's FAC and allocation stands at 3.22 million naira monthly. Its allocation stands over 200 million naira monthly. That put together is almost half a billion and some fractions. And when you come into Nnewi today, if you come into Nnewi as of today, you would not see the effect of even a city where 550 million enters every month. All the roads are dilapidated. There's zero infrastructure. There's nothing new that has been added to Nnewi's infrastructure in the past 20 years. And this 20 years has been a particular political party has been in power in Anambra State, namely the All Progressive Grand Alliance. And the irony of all this is that the political party was better than Nnewi. It was the late Sir Louis Chukwemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu, Ikemba Ndị Igbo, the party he bettered, APGA, which was the party that delivered Peter Obi into government, that resulted, into successive governments being coming from Anambra State, coming from APGA. And all this while, you find that nothing has been done to that city to improve it. So Nnewi's own resurgence in local participation, political participation, why it seems as if we're having a presidential election here in Nnewi. If you come to Nnewi now, you see the mood in Nnewi is as though a presidential election is about to happen. Meanwhile, it's a local government council election. Everybody is guns blazing, hunting for votes, going round. The APGA candidate is doing so. The YPP candidate is doing so. There are other parties who are meant to be part of it, but they said they are in court because they are contesting the process through which the election was even announced in the first place. They say that the state government did not, follow the due process in his announcements of the results, and that there were a lot of laws were broken in the scheduled election for 28, and to that extent of their legality of the election, that they would not participate in it. And namely, these parties are APC, Labour, and PDP. And so when you find a situation like that, these are things that we see at national level happening in a local government election. You find that yes, there's a lot of activity. And these activities are in spite of the fact of the categories I've already given you that are responsible for the death of interest in grassroots politics.
Okay, let's look at the people involved in this in it right now. Let's look at the candidates. We have candidates from YPP and we have candidates from ABGA. There's two main candidates. I think that those are the two main candidates he talked about. What do you think they are bringing to the table this time? How do you think this whole thing will play out? Do you think this time it will be different, or for the first time, the populace want to see this particular candidate in the town hall debate? What do you think they are actually going to be bringing to the table going forward?
Oh, well, I think the only way I can comment on this question now is to talk to you a little about their manifesto. I've only read that of the YPP candidates. The ABGA candidates does not have a manifesto yet. Before I joined this Zoom, I checked to see if he's released the manifesto for his campaign organization, rather, has released a manifesto on his behalf or for him. And I found that even as at this moment, a manifesto had not been released, so that I could go through it to know what Nnewi may expect of him, not just at the debate, but also, if he does win, or if the other person, whichever one wins, a manifesto can tell you something what the people can expect. Well, I can only speak to what I have read from the YPP candidates manifesto, which has been on the public domain for over 1 month. I can say that he is well known in his introduction, where he mentioned that he has been leader of the Catholic Boys Organization of the Nnewi diocese. It means that he's known in the church, and second, which is an important institution in the community. And the secondly, that he has led professionally in his career as a proprietor of a school. So he's led Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS, National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, NAPS. And so that means he's known in the professional circle. I like to start with antecedents because that is what is so important in leadership. People's antecedents are very important. They are far more important than what they say they will do. And I think the third thing he mentioned that of leadership is that he has also been president of Nnewi Youth Forum, which is the apex organization of youths in Nnewi. And I think that could be the yardstick with which he will be judged, because that's leading a youth organization, the apex youth organization, definitely the people have come in contact with him and his leadership style. And so tomorrow, those who enjoyed or did not enjoy his tenure will be on hand to listen to his program, to listen to what he would say. And you know the beauty about democracy, you can't lie. You can't lie. You can't lie because you are talking to the people who live in the community with you. So you cannot say, oh, go and verify. People are verifying you right there. They live in the community. You can't even say go and verify. They are right there with you in the community. So if you're saying, oh, as youth chairman, I did this, I watered and I fired, they're saying, no, you did not water, you smoked. If you say you fired, they will say, no, you vapored. They'll be able to tell you what you did and what you did not do right there and then. So I think that's the beauty of democracy at the grassroots. It's very close to the people. As our people will say, people's mouths can reach where things are happening.
All right. Yeah. One thing I know about, you see, personally, if you tell most people at the grassroots to go and vote in local government elections, even state elections, like we just had an election in City, some areas we saw a serious voter apathy, who not really coming out to the grassroots to vote. Yeah. Most people feel that it is not reflected whatever happens to the grassroots, because most of these things are actually influenced by the government, so they may not want to come out to vote. And when it comes to electoral violence, they're also scared to come out to vote. I don't know. What do you think can be done to be able to encourage people to really come out to vote and have this more confidence in the government that is closest to them, which is the government at the grassroots, the local government the local government itself. What do you think can be done so that
Oh,
more
I
people
just lost part.
we
Oh,
can still
sorry.
see you? We can
Yeah.
see you. So, what do you think can be done in this particular to
Okay.
bring to really encourage people to come out in the grassroots to what we don't have electricity in Nigeria for people to watch this particular debate. There are a lot of things that are play to really encourage people to be part of all this. I'm saying that because something like this should be done in such a way that people are actually encouraged to come out, watch debate, and also come out to vote. What do you think can be done for people to really come out en masse to participate in all this and also to come out and vote?
Well, I think that what needs to be done, there's not something needs to be done, not just by the government, but by the people themselves who live, people who understand the need for grassroots democracy, have even more work to do than the government themselves. Because no matter what you say about the electoral umpires, whether it is INEC or ANSEC, whatever they do on the election D-Day is aided by apathy. If people do come out of their own volition, despite what they believe about INSEC or INEC, if they do actually come out, the extent of misuse or abuse of the process will be lesser. I believe so because while we may want to say on the part of the government that they should strengthen the independence of the electoral bodies, that's where you could start from. Independence of INEC as an institution or ANSEC at the state level, or whether they should. Some people are now proposing that the two, a new institution can be formed to conduct election across board, whether federal elections up to the grassroots level. I think I align myself with that sentiment that one institution should be, tasked with that role of organizing all elections, as opposed to having separate decisions. The reason is because the duplicity of all these institutions do not help for sharing of experiences. Because when you have an institution, just one institution, doing all these things right from local government down to up to this thing or the federal level, you will find that in terms of even let me use just one parameter to buttress my point. If you have ANSEC, if ANSEC were also maybe a department of INEC, right? What you will find is that their ad hoc staff would have been sorted out even before elections because there will be people who live amongst. It won't be this time they will start looking for core members. Core members can be co-opted into the elections, but the extent of their extent of their participation can be limited because some of them, the trainings that they get, I cannot actually say is enough to carry out the election because I've experienced, ineptitude, by core members during elections, even national elections. Everyone, who is in the field during elections can testify that sometimes some of them don't even know how to work the results. You will now start finding that their supervisors will have to be called to come down to the field to work out the results. So I think that having ANSEC or the state electoral commissions become departments within a bigger national body would help better for cross sharing of experiences that could help to election planning, monitoring, and delivering better results. But I think that overall, what needs to be said about from the government's end is that there must be a concerted effort to make democracy, thrive. If the motive is, if I'm governor, I have to win the election because I'm governor. Or if I'm president, I have to win it because I'm president. Or if I'm local government chairman and I have to win. Or governors and as at now, it's only governors and presidents that conduct elections or that appoint those who have conducted elections. If that is the motive, then nothing can be gotten right.
Let me come in because that was where my next question is actually coming from. We call it independent. At the national level, we call it Independent National Electoral Commission. We also call it State Independent National Commission at the states. Now, we have a democracy that says the INEC or the electoral umpire should be independent, but the person that is actually contesting for the election is actually the one who appoints the people who are in charge of INEC in the state. What is your school of thought? Because most school of thoughts actually say that Nigeria can never get it right in democracy as long as the president or the governors appoint the people who are the umpires of this, who are the umpires who are in charge of the state independent electoral commission in the state. Do you think that the president, governors should actually continue appointing these people, or there should be an independent body that will actually appoint the INEC commissioners for the states or for the state independent electoral commission? Because most people feel that as far as that is the way it is, things will never go well in the country, and they may always tamper with the elections because they can manipulate the umpire. What do you think?
Okay, I actually think that institutions in Nigeria, most institutions in Nigeria is not structured in a way that institutions can be strengthened. And you find this because of, the people, whoever is in power at that point can actually interfere in the process, institutional processes. By interfering, I mean appointments or sacking of, leaders of institutions or, those who manage these institutions. I think that the natural process through which institutions should be headed should be by, by ranking officers. You get into an institution and you go all the way through from an entry-level staff until, if you do your diligent job, you become, you come to the top of that institution. If that is done and they do their normal assessment, technical assessments, and people, go up all the way to become confirmed as directors of institution, or, in INEC's case, what is it called? Chairman of an INEC, you will find that absence of political interference on its own, direct political, because I know even when you are promoting, even during promotions, they're also determined by somehow there's also political interference. We cannot deny that in even promotions and how people, climb through the ladder of civil service in this country, especially in this country. But direct interference is when an INEC officer, INEC boss knows that the president can sack him. That's direct interference. And if that is sustained, what it means is that we're always going to have INEC bosses who will be doing the biddings of those who employ them. There's no two ways about it. There's nothing you can expect from such a process where people can be independently appointed by the president. The only alternative where that kind of appointment can work is if it is the Senate that appoints the post of INEC. And it has to be a particular number of majority of members that have to okay their appointments. And if that happens, then you will find that the political parties would like to have a neutral person there. So naturally, neutrality will become a very important issue in the process, because no political party would want anybody who is not neutral to be there. Even if they were opposition, they will fight tooth and nail to make sure that they mount up public opinion. And as to why the person, you will see a lot of petitions, because now their interest is there. And it's not just longer the hand of one person. So that's what I think. I think Nigeria should switch it to appointment and confirmation by the Senate, or by the, two-phase appointment and confirmation by House of Assembly, House of Rep, and then confirmation by the Senate. Something like that may work out better than the present arrangements.
Yes, that's by rather arm of government. Okay, let's come back to debate. Let's talk about the importance of debates in getting the electorate to vote for a particular candidate. I know when you have debates, it makes you to really have a clear view of what candidates, of seeing the candidate and what the candidate has to offer in the country. The first time Nigeria had one of the most popular debates in the country was when we had in 1993 a debate between the then MK Abiola and Tufa. And I believe that debate actually swayed the election, because a lot of Nigerians were glued to their TV and they saw clearly between two candidates where one actually stand out. What do you think is the importance of debate actually to the society as we speak? Like this one that is going to happen in Nnewi, how would this impact the citizens of Nnewi to actually get the right candidates to vote in?
Debates are very important, because one of the very first things you notice about debates is that it helps to spell out or to define the issues for the politicians. It is during debates that the real issues are actually, enunciated, whether it is by the debate panel or it is by the candidates themselves through their own research, or it is by members of the what's it called, the audience. You find that if you want to hear the issues of any country, follow their debates. Like the American, because once governance begins, a lot of what's it called, a lot of diplomacy would now start happening. What then happens at that time will be that people will no longer say things as they were. But during debates, when people are still trying to get into office, issues will be spelled out and called by their names. And so when you've identified the problem, you have solved it. So that's one thing. Then secondly, the debates help the electorates to get to know the candidates on a more, if you want to, for lack of words, intimate level. Because that is when you now say some candidates, you don't even know if they've gone to school before they are presented to a debate. You may not even know if they've gone to school, their level of education. But during a debate, their profile is out there, is put up. So people who attend or those who are home, if it's live streamed, will now know what manner of training the candidates had, where they went to school, what they studied, because some people may not have the time. Our society does not even read. You may have your manifesto out there for months, nobody will open it. But when they say it's the debate, oh, we like violence in this country. Oh, debate, yes, on the TV, let me hear what they are about to say. But then he's already learning about the candidates, or she or she's, the listener is learning about the candidates in real time. And once that has happened, he begins to inform his perspective or how he thinks about each of the candidates. And then the third thing that you can take away from debate is that a lot of undecided voters make decisions based on what they hear from debates. A lot of undecided voters take their decisions as they listen to debates. Because at the end of the day, while we can say that oratory may help a candidate during a debate, you cannot also deny that even a candidate who is not that an orator, if he has genuine ideas and manages to pass them across however he wants to do so, the people who are in the society, especially the elites, who somehow, control the opinion of the masses. If you have an egalitarian society like what we have here in Nnewi, where everybody knows what is good, and now for avoidance of doubt, these candidates are standing in front of the town hall and talking about their programs. I believe that tomorrow, especially those who have, when I mean people who have influence, I mean people who, for maybe reasons of economic position, help a lot of people around. So somehow, in this life, a person where they feed you somehow has an opinion as to what you do. So you see that if those people are going to be part of the audience tomorrow, they'll be able to see what they say, especially those of them who are not even in the Nnewi. We have a lot of diasporans in the Nnewi, in diaspora. And we have not just abroad, I mean even in Lagos and elsewhere in the north. And these are people who send money every month or even every other week down to the village, down to Nnewi. Because Nnewi, excuse my French, Nnewi is a city. So down to Nnewi, and when they do this, if they're able to join a debate, they will be abreast with the issues, and then they can now, the same phone call that they used to call to say, I sent Mama Nkechi 50,000. I sent Mama Papa Oyenka 200,000. They can still pick up that phone call and say, I just watched the debate of the candidates who are vying for the elections. And I think party XYP, I think party ABC, the candidate is better. I think you guys should go vote there, because believe it or not, most people in communities don't even know who is a better candidate. But these people who are out there, who are more exposed, probably because of the places that they live in, will be able to, in a debate, spot who has substance and who does not. And that would also inform, that can change greatly in an election like a grassroots election. That's just that population of diasporans who may tune into a debate and who may make an informed opinion after the debate can sway the way the election will go.
All right. Yeah, like you said before, it makes them closer to the people. So this time it will be even much easier and more effective talking about the debate. All right. So let's go back to grassroots mobilization. Let's look at the way things are really at the grassroots. What do you think? What policies do you think can be enacted? Looking at the civil society, for instance, in promoting good governance at the grassroots. How do you think people like yourself who do a lot of grassroots mobilization, what kind of how would I put it? How would I put it? What kind of programs do you think can really help to really make people to really come out to the grassroots and participate in local government elections like this instead of just seated out?
Okay, I think, of course, the approach is always advocacy. The Nigerian approach is sometimes not so good. I just thank God COPDEM is on board and they've changed the narrative. Because what you find is that Nigerian civic society waits until election time to start talking about democracy and why people should participate. I think this is the wrong approach to it. I think that rather than wait until elections come up, I'll give you my own strategy for increasing engagement in the grassroots level. When you read my profile, you saw something that said the president of Nnewi social media community. Social media has become a medium for exchange of ideas and a place where people can meet each other. Even people within a locality can meet each other. And so what we've done in the Nnewi that has made this particular election become a very big topic is that over the years in the Nnewi, they have emerged a lot of WhatsApp platforms. Have you been hearing me before now? Because I couldn't see at some point. Okay. So I'm telling you the Nnewi experience and what we have done, what we are doing differently that has improved our local participation in grassroots politics. So I'm saying that the social media has helped. Good use of social media has helped a lot. And how was it implemented, or how did it come about that social media is one of the tools that has been used to improve participation? I'll tell you. In Nnewi, you hardly find anybody who does not belong to one WhatsApp group or the other. These WhatsApp groups range from different things. You have Odema Nnewi, Oganiru Nnewi. There are different names. They come in different names, and they're not organized by constituted authorities. They're organized by people just wake up. They open up a group. They add other people who they know that from Nnewi. They start talking about something, and you see, I'm a member of over 26 of those WhatsApp groups, Nnewi-based WhatsApp groups. 26, just myself alone. And I know that there are so many more WhatsApp groups out there that I don't belong to. That are also about Nnewi. So what this has done is that whenever you want to share information about Nnewi, if I want to talk about participation, it is getting right into people's phone. So you don't even have to go and start looking for them where they are. So the multiplicity of WhatsApp groups and platforms in Nnewi, I think is one factor that I can say that has been most responsible for the spread of grassroots awareness for the democracy awareness in Nnewi. I think is a model that other communities, other cities, other spaces can copy.
So would you say technology has played a huge part in making people to really participate in grassroots?
It has, man. Constant, something you are seeing every day. You can't deny the power of something you see every day. You come on board, they're talking about election. You come again, they're talking about election. At some point, you see something that interests you.
This is a first. In fact, and this is a model. What is happening now is what other local governments in the country should be taking a cue from. The first debate at the chairmanship level shows the level of participation they have at the grassroots. And yes, now what you said, yes, the technology is actually driving it. Technology is already driving. It's actually driving a lot in politics in this country. There are a lot of things that cannot be hidden now, unless we can easily communicate, and that's really helping. What would you say? Just tell us more. How was Nnewi able to do this? Apart from that, the technology, how were they able to do it? Because it shows that Nnewi is highly politically active when it comes to the grassroots level. What would you say about other parts of the country? Because they need to take a particular cue from what's going on in Nnewi, especially going to the debate tomorrow.
Okay, I think that it's always been like this in Nnewi. I must say that this election cycle came with something different. Immediately, it was announced that there was going to be local government elections. WhatsApp groups that were not, sometimes some of these WhatsApp were not always busy. They became busy. People started talking about what was happening. So people started posting bad roads around them. Oh, now we are getting local government. Look at the bad road. Someone just opened his camera. I'm just in front of my house now. Look at the road in my house. He's complaining. The person will be at the market. He's posting video of saying, I was at Unquote today. See how everywhere is bad. People started talking about, regular things. And before you know it, these conversations began to, go towards, okay, elections are coming. What do we do now to change this thing? So I think that what organized communities can learn from this is that one of the things that mark a departure from the norm in the attitude of locals towards grassroots democracy is the opening of conversations. We have to have conversation starters. There has to be people who open conversations. So the man who comes out in front of his house and posts a bad road has started a conversation. Before you know it, the next person comes out and snaps in front of his own house. The person stands in front of his own shop. The person snaps, one other thing. And before you know it, conversation has started on roads. And as we're talking about roads, we're talking about, who are you going to talk about roads? You're talking about governance. And even the local government has some roads that they have to do. All the roads are not to be done by the federal and the state government. There are some roads that local government should be able to tidy up. So now you see, you have the trunk A, B, C roads, and you see that people are now saying, oh, this road is who should do this road? Is it federal government or state government or local government? And people are beginning to talk. And then when somebody has gotten to this level and you talk to him about the elections, the person will listen. Because he's now seen that road, whether it's going to be good or bad, is tied to governance. And so I think that the most important lesson that should be learned from Nnewi is, how do communities start conversations about the things that they do not like in their communities? Once anybody is able to start those conversations, then it's a ripple effect. And technology is a tool towards starting that conversation. I just mentioned the use of WhatsApp.
All right. Let's as we begin to conclude, I would like to ask a very, very important question. Most people actually look at the how will I put it, the local government, the grassroots local government, as a place where a lot of corruption is actually taking place. In fact, most people, in fact, I think I remember when a long time ago, some people would say it is when the allocations are sent to most local government, I see most local government secretariats busy. And after that, the next thing, most times nothing happens. Most of the local government chairmen do actually nothing. How do you think we can hold the leaders at the grassroots accountable and really make sure that they who are close to the people, they actually provide those dividends of the democracy by providing roads and infrastructure, because they are the ones closer to the grassroots. They see those inner roads, they see those roads that are bad. How do you think we can change things like that? If in other countries, like in the US, when you have counties, you see some counties that are actually looking like cities. Infrastructure is so close to them. You actually wonder whether those counties or villages or intertowns, whether they are actually not the state capital. Development has gone deep into them. How can we make these leaders at the grassroots really work so that they can provide enough to really change the society? Grassroots.
I think that this question you asked is very, I was laughing when you are asking it, because it's a question that can solve itself. Let me tell you something that is different about grassroots. I'll just tell you something real quick. Local government chairmen do not have immunity. You know that, right?
Yes.
They don't have immunity. That solves some part of the problems. So if you want to serve the people, you come out to serve the people, you just have to know that you do what you say you will do. Because you live in a community, unless you are going to be serving them from elsewhere. You don't have immunity, local government chairman. People can sue the hell out of you. Excuse my French. You could even get arrested. You know? So it is different at the grassroots level. Very different. And I must say that the only thing that people need to do, people at the grassroots level need to do to ensure that the local government system or chairman serves them, is to ensure that they are the ones who are making the selection of these candidates. They should not use their vote to confirm illegally selected candidates. Maybe all these places where you find kangaroo primaries have been done, then people will come and endorse whatever a few people did. Candidates should come out through the right process and then let them be vetted through the right process. Go through the rigors of campaign. If there's a debate, they should attend it. They should go through all those processes and be seen that it is the people who is now making them leaders. And watch what is going to happen. The people are going to hold them accountable. What happens? Why people don't hold? Why is that public office holders in Nigeria not held accountable is because the people don't even believe that their votes were what put them there in the first place. The people think that whether we voted or not, you could have also won. But when people see that it is only because of their vote that you are there, look at what is happening in Abia State with Governor Oti. Are you telling me that any Abia State will be in doubt that his vote was what put Governor Oti there? Nobody will be in doubt because he went through the process, primaries, campaigned, won. And so in local government, in the grassroots, what needs to be ensured is that the candidates emerge from the right process. And once they do that, the people will take ownership of that government. And once they do that, that's why I said they don't have immunity. If you're not doing the right thing, you see that you have yourself to blame. You'll be sorry for yourself. Because you're not a governor, you don't live in a capital, you live in that community with them there, in local government. They are going to come to your house and ask you questions. They will invite you at your own Monna. In Igbo land, we have home Monna, your kindred. They will summon you there to come and answer for for whatever you've done. So it's a different ball game from the state elections and the federal elections.
All right, thank you. I think I want to thank you for joining this program. We'll actually come to the end of the program. I don't know if you have any concluding statement to say about tomorrow's debate. We're actually looking forward to it tomorrow.
I do have. I want to speak particularly to the candidates. The candidates of this election, especially those who are actually contesting, because there are 4 candidates that were cleared by ANSEC from 4 different parties. So I'm speaking to the 2 top candidates who have seen campaigning vigorously. For whatever reason, please do not miss these debates. No matter what is happening tomorrow, no matter how your itinerary is tomorrow, make sure that you are not pressured towards shaking out of the debates. You know, your party, not even your party, nor anybody, anywhere, whether Godfather or anything, should not allow you to miss it. Because Nnewi, not just those who are living in Nnewi, who are in diaspora. Remember, DDN is the one hosting this debate, and DDN is one channel that most Nnewi in diaspora look at for their news. So they are going to be there watching to see you come on to talk about your program, and if they don't see you, what it means is that you are not committed to all that you have said throughout the campaign trail. All it means is that you are not in the race. I don't think Nnewi will vote anybody who does not sit on the podium tomorrow, speaking for himself. This is not proxy, talking through proxies. It's talking you, speaking for yourself, answering questions asked to you, and a measure of a man is what he says, under pressure, when he's asked questions, when he's put on the spot. So Nnewi will be putting you on the spot tomorrow. And do well to honor them, respect the electorate by attending the town hall debates. That's the only way the electors can know that they can hold you accountable if and when you do win. And so that is what then from Nnewi, I have to say, tune in to the DDA and channel, which will be publicized to every WhatsApp group, every Omona group, every old boys group. There's no way you will miss it if you're online, unless you don't have data. If you don't have data, please buy data already. Then if you are very close to the Nnewi Hotel, it's a 1,000 hall capacity. If you find space within the hall, fine. If you don't find, there will be speakers outside. You will listen to the debates because the hall can only take 1,000 people. And if you can come down there and on time by 3 p.m., please do so. If you can't, stay at home with your smartphone. You're able to join us in, whether on Zoom or anywhere. There will be so many streaming platforms tomorrow. A lot of social media influencers will be streaming live from their various channels. So please, there's no way you would say you didn't find where to watch it if you're not around. So thank you so much. And may Nnewi be the greatest beneficiary of this process, not any particular individual or group of people.
All right. So we're having Mr. Chukwuemeka Caleb Festus Okeke, and been talking about the local government and strengthening democracy at the grassroots. Nnewi is having their debate tomorrow, first of its kind in the country. Those vying for chairmanship are going to slug it out in the debate tomorrow, and we encourage you to be part of it tomorrow at from 3 p.m. So it will be beamed live on DDM. So I want you to tune into the channel, and hopefully the electorate will be able to see among the candidates who will pilot the affairs of Nnewi for the next 2 to 3 years. I want to thank our guests for coming to the program. Mr. Caleb, thank you for joining us. And I hope you actually think of joining us in the future again when we send you an invite. Hopefully,
I will. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just trying to remember your name now. Because I haven't said your name. Yeah?
Okay, Kevin. I'm Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Kevin. Yes, Kevin. That's
all
what
right.
you said.
So by this time tomorrow, the debate will actually be on. So please look out for our channels, our WhatsApp platforms, and the debate to be on. Don't miss it. Thanks for joining. My name is Kevin Japo, and we're signing out. Thank you.
Yeah.